How many laws are in the Bible? How many laws are in the Bible? The Old Testament contains 613 laws. The New Testament has 2 and focuses on faith and grace. The Bible is the most important book in the Christian faith, containing the sacred scriptures of God. But how many laws are there in the Bible? This is an important question to consider, as the laws in the Bible shape the lives of millions of people who follow its teachings. How many laws are in the Bible? Old Law, 613, New Law, 2. From the 10 Commandments to the laws of Moses, the Bible contains a multitude of laws. These laws have been a source of inspiration, guidance, and instruction to many over the centuries. The Bible is filled with a variety of laws, and each book of the Bible offers its own set of laws. In this blog, we explore the laws in the Bible, examining how they are presented in each book, and analyzing their impact on modern society. The Bible is divided into 2 parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament contains a large portion of the laws of God, many of which were given to the Israelites through Moses. In the Old Testament, there are 613 commandments, known as the 613 mitzvot. This includes laws about civil and criminal justice, as well as religious and moral laws. They are divided into 248 positive commandments and 365 negative commandments. The majority of these laws were given to Moses on Mount Sinai, God's chosen people, when God chose the Israelites as his holy nation. According to the Old Testament, these laws were given by God to Moses, Aaron, and the people of Israel in the year 1450 to 1410 BC. These laws are found in the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, and are known as the Mosaic Law, or the Law of Moses. The New Testament also contains laws, but they are different in nature than the laws of the Old Testament. Instead of laws that are meant to be followed strictly, the New Testament contains many examples of how Jesus and his followers lived their lives according to God's will. The New Testament also contains stories of how Jesus used his miracles and other experiences to teach people about God, his real key idea, and how to live according to his will. The laws of the Bible are not meant to be followed blindly. Instead, they are meant to be interpreted and applied in a way that is best suited to the modern world. This is why many religious scholars and theologians take the time to study the Bible and its laws in order to better understand the teachings of God and how they apply to our lives today. Overall, the Bible contains many laws and regulations that are meant to be followed by God's chosen people. While the exact number of laws is unknown, it is clear that the Bible contains many important teachings that have shaped the lives of millions of people throughout the centuries. By studying and understanding these laws, we can learn more about the will of God and how it can help guide us in our lives today. What are the 10 Commandments? What do they mean? The 10 Commandments are a set of rules given to the Israelites by God as a way to guide their lives and live in harmony with one another. They are found in the Bible in the book of Exodus, chapters 20 and Deuteronomy 5. They are often seen as a summary of the laws of the Bible, and they are the most well-known laws in the Bible. These laws have been interpreted differently throughout history, but the original intent is clear. The 10 Commandments are divided into 2 parts, 6 You Commandments, which are concerned with man's relationship with God, and 4 You Shall Not Commandments, which are concerned with man's relationship with other people. Let's take a closer look at each of these commandments and what they mean. You shall have no other gods before me. This commandment is about putting God first in our lives, and not worshiping other gods or idols. It is about recognizing that God is the only true God, and all other gods are false. You shall not make for yourself an idol. This commandment is about not creating false gods or idols and worshiping them. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. This commandment is about not using the name of God in an offensive or disrespectful manner. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. This commandment is about setting aside one day each week to rest and worship God. Honor your father and your mother. This commandment is about respecting and honoring our parents. You shall not murder. This commandment is about not taking the life of another person. You shall not commit adultery. This commandment is about being faithful to one's spouse. You shall not steal. This commandment is about not taking the property of another person without permission. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. This commandment is about not lying or giving false testimony against another person. You shall not covet. This commandment is about not desiring what belongs to another person. The 10 Commandments are not only the foundation of the laws of the Bible, but they are also the foundation of many of the laws and moral codes found in modern societies. They are seen as a universal code of ethics that all people should strive to follow. They emphasize the importance of honoring God, respecting other people, and living a life of integrity and justice. While the specific interpretations of these commandments may vary from culture to culture, the basic principles remain the same. They are a reminder of the importance of living a life of faith and following God's laws. Examining the laws of Leviticus in the Bible Bible, the book of Leviticus contains the laws of Moses, which were given to the Israelites while they were in the wilderness. These laws are divided into three main categories: the laws of sacrifices and offerings, the laws of purification and cleanliness, and the laws of social justice and morality. These laws were meant to create a holy community in which everyone was to abide by the same rules and regulations. The laws of sacrifices and offerings were meant to be a way for the Israelites to show gratitude and reverence for their God. These laws instructed them how to offer sacrifices and offerings to God, such as grain, wine, and animals. In addition, these laws provided instructions on the proper procedures to be followed when making a sacrifice. The laws of purification and cleanliness were meant to ensure the physical and spiritual health of the Israelites. These laws instructed them on how to cleanse themselves, their homes, and their food before eating it. In particular, these laws prohibited the eating of certain animals, such as pigs and shellfish, and also provided instructions on how to observe the Sabbath day. The laws of social justice and morality were meant to ensure that the Israelites lived in a fair and just society. These laws instructed them on how to treat their neighbors and how to handle issues such as theft, adultery, and other crimes. In particular, these laws outlined the punishments for certain offenses and also provided guidance on how to resolve disputes. How God's laws are presented in Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy contains the laws of Moses, which were given to the Israelites as they prepared to enter the Promised Land. These laws are divided into four main categories: civil, social, religious, and ceremonial. The civil laws provide instructions on how to govern the nation of Israel, including the selection and duties of leaders, the administration of justice, and the regulation of public behavior. These laws also outline the punishments for certain offenses and provided guidance on how to resolve disputes. The social laws provide instructions on how to behave in relationships with one another, including prohibitions against stealing and killing, as well as moral standards for marriage and sexual behavior. These laws also provided guidelines on how to treat strangers and foreigners. The religious laws provide instructions on how to observe the various religious festivals and ceremonies, as well as instructions on how to build and maintain the tabernacle and its furnishings. These laws also outline the duties of the priests and Levites in the service of God. The ceremonial laws provide instructions on how to observe the various festivals and ceremonies, as well as instructions on the rites of passage for men and women. These laws also provided guidance on how to observe the Sabbath day. Analyzing the laws of Exodus. In the Bible, the book of Exodus contains the laws of Moses, which were given to the Israelites as they prepared to leave Egypt. These laws are divided into two main categories: the laws of worship and the laws of holiness. The laws of worship provide instructions on how to observe the various religious festivals and ceremonies, as well as instructions on how to build and maintain the tabernacle and its furnishings. These laws also outline the duties of the priests and Levites in the service of God. The laws of holiness provide instructions on how to live a holy life, including prohibitions against idolatry and adultery, as well as moral standards for marriage and sexual behavior. These laws also provided guidance on how to treat strangers and foreigners. Unveiling the laws of Numbers. In the Bible, the book of Numbers contains the laws of Moses, which were given to the Israelites as they prepared to enter the Promised Land. These laws are divided into two main categories: civil and religious. The civil laws provide instructions on how to govern the nation of Israel, including the selection and duties of leaders, the administration of justice, and the regulation of public behavior. These laws also outline the punishments for certain offenses and provided guidance on how to resolve disputes. The religious laws provide instructions on how to observe the various religious festivals and ceremonies, as well as instructions on how to build and maintain the tabernacle and its furnishings. These laws also outline the duties of the priests and Levites in the service of God. A study of the biblical laws of God. The laws of God are found throughout the Bible. These laws are divided into three main categories: the laws of justice, the laws of love, and the laws of holiness. The laws of justice provide instructions on how to ensure that the nation of Israel is a just and righteous nation, including the selection and duties of leaders, the administration of justice, and the regulation of public behavior. These laws also outline the punishments for certain offenses and provided guidance on how to resolve disputes. The laws of love provide instructions on how to love one another, including prohibitions against stealing and killing, as well as moral standards for marriage and sexual behavior. These laws also provided guidelines on how to treat strangers and foreigners. The laws of holiness provide instructions on how to live a holy life, including prohibitions against idolatry and adultery, as well as moral standards for marriage and sexual behavior. These laws also provided guidance on how to treat strangers and foreigners. Exploring the meaning of the laws in the Bible. The laws in the Bible were not simply meant to be followed blindly. Rather, they were meant to be studied and understood, so that the Israelites could learn to recognize and appreciate the holiness and justice of God. These laws were meant to help the Israelites cultivate a healthy relationship with God and with each other, and to demonstrate their obedience to God. The laws in the Bible also reveal the heart of God. They demonstrate God's love for His people and His desire for their good. They show His desire for justice and mercy and His commitment to the sanctity of life. They also show His mercy, grace, forgiveness, and His love for the sinner and the righteous alike. Investigating the relationship between laws and God in the Bible. The relationship between laws and God is an important one. On the one hand, the laws in the Bible can be seen as a way for God to show His authority and power. By giving His people laws to follow, God is displaying His sovereignty and His desire for His people to be obedient to Him. On the other hand, the laws in the Bible can also be seen as a way for God to express His love and concern for His people. By providing laws to protect them and to guide them in their daily lives, God is demonstrating His commitment to their well-being. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.